So picture this, it's Christmas Day 2019, and you just walked out of the theaters in tears after watching Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. That is what we're going to be talking about today. But we will specifically be talking about Reylo. So we will be talking about the romance between Kylo Ren and Rey because I have to talk about it because I just rewatched the movies a few days ago and I need to talk about it and say why it's the best enemies to lovers I have ever seen. And by the way, this is all subjective to my own opinion. I'm not saying it's the best that you've ever seen. I'm saying it's the best I've seen so far, like right now. So there's probably some that are better out there, but this is just my own opinion from what I've seen in film. I'm not talking about books, I'm talking about film specifically. So yeah, I mean, I was there on Christmas Day 2019. I saw all the new Star Wars movies in theaters on Christmas when they came out, and it was pretty much like a tradition because we would always see it on Christmas, and I loved it, and I just remember like absolutely falling in love with it. Like after I saw this one, I was like, okay, this one's definitely my favorite. Oh, and by the way, I just want to say that if you've never seen these movies, you might get spoiled. Well, I guess you will get spoiled, but this is your sign if you've never seen them to go watch them right now and then come back and watch this video if you're curious about this little romance thing going on. This is not for the OG Star Wars fans out there. This is not for like the OG old Star Wars fans, the ones who love the old movies. No, this is not for you. This is not for you. This is for the girlies who get it, okay? I remember watching this movie and just like absolutely loving the ending. Oh my gosh. Like I remember I was in tears in the theater watching this in 2019 and absolutely just like loving Ben Solo, Kylo Ren. Like he was my favorite character. Obviously I could not handle that little kiss at the end. I definitely shed tears after he disappeared, obviously, in the movie. And yeah, after that, he was definitely my favorite character. Like I loved Adam Driver. I rewatched them recently, and I didn't rewatch The Force Awakens because I've seen that one a few times, like since theaters. Like that's the one I've seen the most for some reason. But I rewatched The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, and I just need to like talk about that. This is truly like the best enemies to lovers I've seen in film, because not only is it across one film, I feel like most of them are just across like one film. And I know like it's probably popular to have enemies to lovers in series. I just haven't really seen it. I mean, they probably exist, but it's the fact that it's across three films. Like that's genuinely what makes it so good. Like it is truly a slow burn. It's the buildup, it's the anticipation, it's the tension between these two characters. You have these two soulmates who obviously were bound together by fate and by the Force, but their circumstance was what was keeping them as enemies, keeping them apart, but ultimately came together at the very end. And that is the only sliver of romance that we got. It was honestly the very end, but I would argue that all three of the films, like you can tell that there's something. You can tell that there's something. And by the way, like this is not an analysis whatsoever. I could be wrong, honestly, but this is just my own interpretation. I like saw tension between them the entire time. And if you get it, you probably get it. Like you know that too. Like there is definitely tension. And that is what makes it so good, is it was across 3 different films. So you literally like just saw them being enemies, and they truly were enemies. I mean, they both wanted each other dead so many times. And I mean, she literally stabs him in the last movie, and then she heals him. And I genuinely think that was like one of the turning points, at least for him, because it's like she literally could have killed him. She stabbed him, and then her healing him, and then the fact that like she always saw that he was conflicted never gave up on him, and he knew it like deep down, but I think he was just suppressing it because, or else he would have killed her many times. And then in the second movie, The Last Jedi, when he was about to kill her, but then he obviously didn't and killed the other person, I forgot what their name was. And then they like fought together, and then like, yeah, obviously he wanted her to join her. She didn't want to because she wanted him to turn. And the fact that like, yeah, she never gave up on him. And at the very end, when he realizes all that stuff after Han Solo visits him, that was just such like a touching scene. And then he's like, I know what I need to do, but I'm not strong enough. And then Han Solo was like, you are. Like, and then he goes and like finds her, and he's like in a different outfit or whatever. He's literally Ben Solo. And then just the ending when like he literally sacrificed himself for her to live. Like, he sacrificed himself. I know that like Kylo Ren was obviously like a bad guy. I mean, he killed his dad. He did a lot of bad things. But I genuinely think, and this could be controversial, but I think he does redeem himself at the very end, because like sacrifice is like the ultimate thing that you could do to like turn around and redeem yourself. Like, he literally sacrificed his life for her. The fact that he had the realization at the end after 3 movies, like, just genuinely such a slow burn. I mean, yeah, it's the fact that it's across 3 films that like makes it so good. I think it was just one, it wouldn't be the same. It would just be your regular, it would be your regular like enemy to lover, I don't know, just like your regular like romance. And by the way, I'm not saying that, oh, like lovers, like obviously, yeah, we only get that one little romance at the very end, but you could argue that throughout all of them, they were, the tension, like the romantic tension was there, because that was the ultimate drive. That was the ultimate drive to get them at the point of the very end of the movie. Like, if they didn't already have that like love deep down, then they wouldn't have made all the decisions throughout the 3 films to lead them at the very end. Him holding her in his arms and then healing her and like sacrificing himself. So like, you could say that throughout all of them, like they were bound together by fate and by the Force. And I just genuinely like literally love them. Reylo, you have my heart forever. And I know it's 2025. And yes, I'm talking about this, okay? I'm talking about this in 2025. I had to turn the screen back on, but yes, I'm talking about this in 2025 because I just rewatched it. This is your sign to rewatch them too and experience these cinematic masterpieces. I love all 3 movies, and I'm not even just talking about the like tiny subplot of romance. Like, I'm saying like in general, I love all 3 of these films so much. But yeah, definitely Kylo Ren and Rey. I would be lying if I said they weren't my favorite part of all 3 of the films. And I love Adam Driver, love her too. Like, their chemistry is just amazing, and I just think this is one of the best enemy to lovers I've ever seen, in my personal opinion and in my own history of viewing films. I literally like can't even think of one that tops this. And especially even if I did think of one, like the fact that this has 3 films, it's just, I feel like you're just not really gonna find that. And I just like, I personally love Star Wars too, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna find one. I could, but I don't know if one is ever gonna top Reylo. Just literally like, yeah, when I rewatched it, I was destroyed. Like, that scene completely destroyed me. It destroyed me worse this time than watching it in 2019, like genuinely. Like, I was completely done. Like, when he disappeared, nope, I was done. And then at the very end, when like Rey gets back and you have Poe and Finn and they all hug, and then you see like tears in Finn's eyes, like that also got me. Just like the ending of that movie is spectacular, and that movie is my favorite one out of all 3 of them. And I just will always love those movies, and I will always love Reylo. Literally, like, oh my gosh. So yeah, if you get anything from this video, it is to watch these 3 movies again, or for the first time, and let me know what you think about this romance and this enemies to lovers. And if you think there's one that is better, let me know, comment. I'm very curious to like see, but I truly think that this is the best one. So